Welcome to Discover the Duncan Difference, a Duncan Financial Group podcast. Discussions in the show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Duncan Financial Group are not affiliated. Hi guys, welcome to Discover the Duncan Difference podcast. Today I have Julie Snyder with us. She's one of our financial professionals. So welcome, Julie. It's so good to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself professionally and personally?
Sure. So I'm one of the financial advisors here at the firm. I work with all sorts of different folks, from people just getting started with their financial planning, first job, out of college, joining the workforce, whatever that might be, all the way through to folks that have more complex planning needs and maybe a lot of moving parts that they need help synchronizing. Personally, I live in Murraysville and have a little girl. So my husband and I have a 9-month-old at this point, and she's keeping us busy, to say the least.
I feel you. So how long have you been how long have you been in the financial industry?
So this will be year 11 in general in the industry.
That's awesome. Yeah. And how long have you been at Duncan?
This will be year 5.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. Happy 5 years.
Thanks.
So what got you into the financial industry?
Well,
did you go to school for it?
I did not. I kind of fell into it. And I know people say that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I started really on the insurance side of things, and it slowly just progressed into clients asking me, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I have questions on this. Can you do that? Yeah. And I just added on license as I went. And then it evolved more into being on the financial planning end of things.
Yes, which is so awesome. I can't wait to dive into a little bit more to that. So what brought you to Duncan?
Mr. John Duncan. Originally, I was really involved, a couple years back in the chamber and just community events, trying to get my name out there and make sure that people knew what I could help them with. Yeah. And I always saw him at different events. Yeah. And eventually he said, why aren't you working with us?
Come join us. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. So what do you do on like a day-to-day basis? How do you help your clients? What is it that you really do?
So a lot of the day-to-day is doing reviews for folks. Mm-hmm. So as life changes, or, every 6 months, every year, I do a check-in with them just to see what might be on their mind. Yeah. In addition to what might be going on in the world that they're bombarded with. There's a lot of information coming our way. Yes. So sometimes it's just filtering through what's going on with them personally versus maybe what's going on that they hear about, and making sure that they're on track. Yeah. And feel comfortable. Yes. So a lot of, conversations really with clients. And then I do handle more of their planning needs. So implementing their investments, making sure that they have the right thing at work, or maybe through me separately. Yes. To hit their planning goals. And then I look at also their insurances.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a couple of questions. So with planning, which is so awesome. And I've had Kristen on and we've talked about that, but can you kind of dive into what you do in a plan? So like, for instance, somebody who's maybe in their 30s and, doesn't necessarily have a high net worth, but makes good money, has a good job. Like what does that all entail, kind of the financial planning aspect?
Yeah. So we'll look at, again, maybe what they have at work. Mm-hmm. They might have different components even from when they were younger. Yeah. And ultimately, it's not one size fits all.
Right. It's very detailed to each person specifically. Yeah.
So we'll get an understanding of what's important to them. Mm-hmm. What, again, do they already have in place? What maybe have they not even considered putting in place?
Absolutely.
And then really outlining, here's where we're at. Here's where you want to be. Mm-hmm. Here's how we bridge that gap, and some steps that we can put in place. And then I walk them through putting everything in place.
Yeah, which is so awesome. I think that's a huge benefit. And I think what's amazing about it is that you guys put
like all the information that you're inputting that, like you said, people probably don't even realize. Like they don't realize they had something or they didn't have something. Maybe they didn't have life insurance set up the way that they needed to based on what they're expecting to do if they pass away or what they have with their family. It's just amazing how much information we are getting from them and putting in there. I just think it's so beneficial and so awesome.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah. Okay. And then my other question was, how often would you say somebody wasn't with you or with Duncan, how often would you say you should be meeting with a financial advisor or your financial planner? What would you expect to be?
At a bare minimum, I would say at least an annual check-in.
Yeah.
Too much can change in 365 days. I'm thinking about what just changed this week.
Yes, right. 100%.
So at least annually.
And I think too, what I think is awesome is that we proactively meet with our clients, because a lot of clients may not think that they need like something in their life changes, but they don't think to reach out. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're buying a house or they're doing something, they don't maybe think about how that's affecting their financial plan, or like maybe they don't think that they need to ask about that, but we proactively reach out, engage with them to make sure that we understand, do you still have the same goals that you had 6 months ago or 12 months ago? What has changed in your life? Where are you aiming to go to? All of that stuff. Or maybe a job change or anything like that.
And it's usually, we don't think about it because it's usually right at the busiest part of something happening in our life.
Yes.
You know, like a job change, that's a lot on your mind, a lot of shifts happening, you know, within your day.
Yeah.
So it may not be a priority.
Right.
And so it's important that I, stay proactive, just keep in touch.
Yeah. I love that. Yep. And like you said too, there's a lot going on in the world. So it's, you've got to talk to your clients to make sure that they understand how that affects them really. That's awesome. Okay, Julie. So what do you love most about your job?
Day to day, the fact that I get to talk with all of my clients. Some of them I've been working with, almost 10 years, if we started on the insurance side.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to know them. I see their kids growing up. Yeah. And I also get to see them tell me about something that's important in a goal and seeing it come to fruition.
That's amazing.
Even so goofy ones. I had somebody tell me that their goal for their savings wasn't necessarily retirement. It was to buy a boat.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And she got her boat.
She's like, I'm fine. Life goals. That's great. That's so fun. I didn't even really think about that. Like how cool it is to see people kind of set those goals and be disciplined and do the things that they need to do to get somewhere. And then you get to see it all. That's awesome.
Yep.
And like you said, you've had people for, a decade. That's incredible. That's so awesome. Yeah. So you build those relationships with them, and that's special.
Yeah. And a lot of times then I'm sure you're around other people that have the same stories. You get to know them, and then you get to know either their parents or their kids. And then it's a whole family affair, and you get to know everybody.
You're like, how's grandma doing? Yes, that's awesome. That is so awesome. I love that. So what do you love about working at Duncan in particular?
Overall, we have a lot of resources.
Yeah.
We have, first off, people that know their stuff, on the insurance side, 401k side, tax side, investment side. So if there's something that maybe I'm not the precise expert that should be handling it, I know that we have somebody who can
pick up the phone and call somebody.
So
I love that.
Resources are awesome. And then getting to know those people over time too.
Yeah, because there's so many people, and it really is, everyone here has just such, as I know from sitting down with everybody, everyone just has such an interesting story. It's fascinating getting to know them. And I just think it's so easy to work with the people that are here, to be able to call somebody and say, I don't know the answer to this, but this guy knows, like he's going to know, without a doubt. I love that. I wanted to ask you about Duncan Advisor Resources, because you're a part of that. We have that branch. Can you speak a little bit about that, like what we do there and why you love being a part of that?
Sure. So with the Duncan Advisor Resources section, that's really just advisors helping other advisors, as far as where I stand on it. So it's advisors helping advisors. So there's a lot of networking that can happen through the branch. And then in addition to that, is what that provides is resources for, the life insurance side of things. We have our whole general agency. We have all the compliance and oversight. I mean, there's a lot of regulation nowadays. So making sure that everything's done properly and on the up and up, because it evolves daily. It's really huge to have that in your back pocket at all times.
It's such a benefit. It really is. That's what I had Larry last week, so his episode will air around yours, and it really is so awesome how many resources. So you already have the resources here at Duncan Financial Group, but then to have even more resources as a financial advisor, from Catherine in compliance to, Thomas helping to build that business. It's just awesome. It really is. And then we have the branch meeting every year, and I got to experience that for the first time this past year, and it was just so awesome to see the financial advisors like talking and working together and networking and sharing those, like their secret sauces. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
I keep in contact with a lot of those advisors throughout the country, throughout the year. Most recently, I've had a conversation with one of the advisors' daughters.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Because she might get into the field. Actually, it's 2 daughters.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's just neat to have that backup of basically mentors.
Yeah, that's really great.
That's what they're doing for each other, is becoming mentors.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if somebody was, considering becoming a client of Duncan, thinking about maybe doing financial planning or just kind of looking at it, what would you tell somebody who is considering coming on to Duncan? What would you say to them is the benefit of being a Duncan client?
Yeah, I would say if you're getting started, or if you're already years into it and you're like, wait a second, maybe I should have reviewed all this years back.
Yes.
It's okay. Start where we're at.
Yeah.
And there's no judgment there. We just start with wherever you're at. We'll meet you there. We'll filter through things and then figure it out together. So don't be scared if you haven't already started. I think is the main thing. That seems to be a holdup.
I love that. That is really great advice, because I think for somebody like me, I'm in almost my mid-30s, which is terrible, but it's fine. But I think about that because, I previously had my own business. So just a lot of these things weren't things that I was really thinking about. And now I'm getting into my mid-30s. I think some people would be maybe, hesitant because they're like, ooh, what are they going to say? I don't have any of this put together yet. And that's such a good point, that we will, whatever you have so far, we will take a look at it, and we do free consultations so we can take a look at it and decide, are we really even the best fit for you?
Yep, exactly. I always start off process-wise with just a little get acquainted call.
Yeah.
Because it's so nerve-wracking if you're going to be jumping into something and not know anybody or know what to expect. I mean, I get nervous if I don't know what to expect.
Exactly, same.
So, get acquainted, see if it is a fit. And if it is a fit, which it 9 times out of 10 is, and if it isn't, I probably know somebody that
I can recommend somebody
would be able to assist. Maybe it's just a different division that you need to start with, and then it loops back around.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time, Julie.
Sure.
And thank you guys so much for watching Discover the Duncan Difference. We drop every Monday at 8 a.m. wherever you find your podcasts. Bye, guys.